Welcome everyone to Greatest Media Team's coverage of the Welcome to the Jungle version 9, presented by East Coast Metal Roofing. Welcome to round 2. We are at the beautiful Meadowbrook Orchards, and we see some of our sponsors for the event popping up. Shout out to Discmania and Disc Golf 978 for helping us create a huge purse for the pro field. We also have some of our silver level sponsors popping up now. I'm today joined by Dan Brook-Wells. Dan, how you doing today?
Fantastic. I am excited to be here, and I'm excited to revisit this course. This is the first time I was at this beautiful property, and just pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so we have a lot of scores around the same area after round 1, a very common theme of Coggshall. We may see some more separation at this course today, a bit more distance required to score, a lot more OB lines, and we have a fantastic lead card for you today. First off, Andres Ripley, local from Massachusetts, 990 rated, shot the hot round at Cogs, 8 under par, joined by Nick Economos. If you've never seen him throw, this may be the best track to see it on. Guy can bomb for miles. And we have a newcomer, Justin Patenaude, PDGA 222 over here, making waves in the scene recently, up to 990 rated. First time I'll be seeing him play. We also have another local here, Shane Wyatt, coming out of retirement a little bit. Been a while since we've seen him on a lead card.
Yeah, awesome. The only person I know right now is Shane, and but I'm excited to see these new players. So we're starting off on hole 1. This is a par 4, 530 feet. OB on the right side. You see a lot of people cut that corner, especially if you're going for the 2, and this is eagleable.
We have Andre stepping up now. He is going to be the lefty of the card. So this whole play is a little bit different for a lefty. Able to go hyzer the whole way and stay pretty safe.
Yeah, and the wind did start to pick up later in the day. As you can see, those feather flags kind of flying. And he definitely plays it safe. There's no reason to risk anything off this first tee.
Yeah, this is certainly an interesting first hole. I mean, a lot of discussions have been made about it, kind of starting off for especially the pros as kind of a gimme birdie. We know this man right here is looking for the 2, nothing else. He has a destroyer in his hands, and we know Nick will always go full send.
Get turning. Wind just got under it a little bit, it seemed, and pushed it off. But easy pitch up.
For sure. And yeah, I definitely had kind of the similar thing happen to me. The biggest mistake here, especially in a headwind, is turning it over and ended up OB, which is just worst case scenario for this hole. So Nick makes the safe play, and we see Justin throwing for the first time.
Yeah, good line, straight the whole way.
Yeah, this is certainly the first time we'll be on an A-tier lead card, and we'll see how he handles the pressure throughout the round.
Shane not scared to get that thing turned over a bit. From what I understand, Shane is definitely a really good woods golfer. I haven't really seen him play much in the open.
Thanks. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thank you. Thanks. See you at the end. Thanks, man. Might have been 381.
A lot of camaraderie. It was a really good feel being up at this tournament. Big A tier, but nice little hometown feel. Andres puts one a little bit into the ground, but gets an amazing skip, and looks like he's just outside the circle for his 3 look.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, with a lot of these big arms, they might be landing edge of circle 1, to a jump putt approach, but all these woodsmen that are on this card, we're going to have some more technical approaches, especially on a windy day.
There's a good upshot there. He'll be able to dunk it in. Yeah, the wind definitely got involved during this round. It was kind of swirly on and off. You'll see us go into the woods here, and we'll come back out into the open, and that's definitely a factor. Good first bid.
Yeah, definitely not a par you want to start off with. Certainly the easiest starting hole I've ever played in a tournament.
Yeah, this played a whole half a stroke under par, and as you can see our lead card here, Andres definitely feels that one, but had a stroke to play with. Now we're just back in the game, right? There was one eagle as Nick taps in his bird by Andrew Cochran. Well done, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew's definitely got an arm on him, and it's a great start to pick up the 2.
Right, moving on here to hole 2. This is a par 3, 405 feet. OB on the right side and deep where the trees are, where the orchard is. This elevated basket in the wind plays tough. It's beautiful green, absolutely awesome. You're going to see a lot of guys, righties, throw just kind of a hyzer shot into and try to hit the base of the basket. Just like that.
Yeah, that was beautiful from Nick. I mean, he's got the arm to take something very overstable. This looks like a glow omen from him, and throws it like a straight disc.
Likes it. It's really important to get near the base because this hole can get really tricky really fast, putting back and forth. And this is the mistake I saw a lot of, which was just early left, because there's no OB over there.
Yep, definitely the correct mistake to make. So Justin at least shown some smarts early. See if we can get some birdies moving on.
Yeah. And Shane, maybe not having the arm of Nick, trying more of a direct route, and that also hyzers out early left. That'll probably be just a pitch up from there. Andres here, have not seen a lefty approach this yet. He takes a lower line directly at it. And that hits the base as well, so we are 2 for 4 on base hits.
Yeah, great bounce back drive from Andres. But even as close as he is, it's really not a gimme putt. And these approaches, although seem simple, are very technical, as Shane puts it in a great spot right there. You can kind of see there's a closer part to be up near the boxes. There's a further part. Oh, my goodness. Almost a spit through for Andres, but collects the birdie.
Yeah, well done. Like you said, really good bounce back. And Nick is almost tall enough to just kind of reach it in.
Yeah, even from this range in the wind, it can be a little scary. Justin calmly puts it in. I definitely see a lot of overhand putts on this hole too, and sometimes that can even go wrong with the wrong wind exposure and not a lot of spin. So all of our players able to put them in close. Seems pretty easy, but definitely a sigh of relief as we head into hole 3.
It did get nervy. I was like, that's like this big. It's like this big, and it's straight up.
Moving on to hole 3. This is a par 3, 350 feet. You see the gap dead straight. That's really the only thing you're looking at. I see a couple discs flex to the right here and then kind of back towards the target. But you have to be very precise on this one.
And after 2 open bombers, we are headed to the woods where we will be here for the next few holes. See how our players can attack it now. We have Nick throwing a rock.
This leaks a little early left, but gets through everything. Should be looking at a circle 2 look from there, I would think. Just catches an early one. I can see what he's trying to do, kind of like flip it up and ride a little left. I like that play.
Those gaps down there are certainly small, but there's no excuse to not get out the first gap, and that's what all of our players are aiming for. So some tough scrambles if they fail to do that.
And Shane catches one of those early ones as well. Yeah, you definitely have to be good at scrambling at both of these courses that we're playing. You hit early, there's a lot to hit once again, as we see Justin do just that. That might have worked its way up enough to give him a putt.
Yeah, a little bit of plinko from Andres, but he's one of our best putters in the area. And Shane double doinking it right through.
Maybe triple. Justin just laying up to take his medicine, take his bogey. Just move it on.
A jumper for Andres. That's his money zone right there. Right outside the circle. And able to cash it in for the par save. Just by a few feet. Got the green light to jump.
Yeah, and that's a momentum builder, right? Got the birdie on the last hole, saved a tough 3 on this hole. Feeling good. Very nice. And Nick seemed to be inside the circle off of his drive, and he takes advantage of it. Very nice bird.
Shane sneaking it in as well. Our players making this putting green look pretty easy. And a little side note, shout out to Dan over there. I'm loving this reaction cam.
You can see we're looking at our whole stats. This was birdied 11 times, average of 3.1. So played pretty fairly. Hole 4, par 3, 279 feet. This is a pretty severe hyzer, and you kind of want to go the route that the drone is flying right here. Take a mid, take a fairway that's going to flip up and push left. Nick probably just missed the line.
Yeah, that drone flew through an outside gap, but there's also an inside gap that a lot of players are trying to take. Andres looking like the outside gap here with a forehand. Gets to a putt for sure.
It's a putt, got a weird skip. There's a lot of stuff on the ground, and it just seems like with that overstable fairway play, you really want to get that flare skip, and it's kind of a gamble. But yeah, definitely in his putting range.
How do you attack this hole, Dan? Are you going for a stable disc that gets left, or are you trying to flip up something more neutral or understable?
I went with a flip up the left side. It seems like the most direct route to get there. But these guys are showing me this outside route, and I'm liking it. So maybe next year, I'll play something different. How about you?
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on this one. I end up taking something more neutral than overstable. Just try to kind of get some air under it and getting right and left. But a stable disc can certainly get you to around circle's edge, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, I like this hole. You don't need to be able to park the hole, like course designers. You don't have to park the hole every single time. Sometimes the play is to get to circle's edge, right? And now you got to show us that you can putt. Nick catches another early one. Here is his par save. Just flies it past a bit.
Yeah, if Nick wants a chance to take down his first A-tier title, those are the little things that kind of plague him sometimes. So A little mistake here after the birdie on 3. See if he can bounce back.
Very nice putt. Kind of 2 back-to-back at a similar distance.
So Andres been putting with those Lunas for a long time now. These ones are looking dialed.
Corner pocket. Shane always entertaining on the course. Unfortunately, that for Nick, that switches the lead. Andres goes to 10 under, and he drops back to 9.
Justin cleaning up another birdie for our card. 3 birdies on this card. You know, I know it is a sub 280 par 3, but 3 birdies is really good, and this lead card is keeping up their pace from yesterday.
Absolutely. And we are moving on to hole 5. This is a par 3, 245 feet. OB behind the basket. You're really hitting a tunnel shot in trying to get past this last wall of trees, which are at about circle's edge, maybe a little bit inside circle. But anything to that gap, and you're looking at a birdie putt. I feel like most people are taking an overstable putter or any sort of putter and just trying to hit this initial gap.
Yeah, this hole is a really good test for our players, especially at hole 5. Anyone in the pro division can throw 250 feet straight, so we'll see how we're feeling and see who can execute this shot. Shane's feeling good.
That looks perfect. I mean, that was perfect the whole way.
That was perfect.
See, Justin drifting a little bit to the right, but there's plenty of room over there.
Yeah, I don't hate that route at all. Certainly more open on the right side, whereas up the middle, you'd have to hit a more precise gap. Nick, AVR 3, just a little too high and outside the pitcher himself.
Yeah, and this is where this course can get tricky. Seems like hit his gap and hit the line he wanted. There's Andres to get another stroke. Bit low.
Yeah, that was from the same range as the other 2, maybe even a little closer. Surprising to see that miss from him in that situation.
And here we have a look back at Nick. This is a good cleanup putt. This is not one you want to bogey.
No, and that was to avoid the back-to-back. And I know it's still early, but taking a peek at these scores, he is tied for first right there, maybe 1 stroke back now. So he's well in it. Some nice cleanup birdies from those 2 boys there. They both bring it to 9. You got a tight race at the top.
Yeah, anyone's game. This is definitely a course you can score at. So we are going to roll on to hole 6 here. This is a tight gap. Par 3, 276 feet. Take your putter, take your mid, and make sure you hit this line. If you get caught early, left or right, you're looking at a tough scramble.
Yeah, in my head, I always group hole 5 and 6 together. They kind of have a very similar feeling. Both want to throw it dead straight. This one's just slightly harder than the other, and Shane dials it up nice.
Absolutely. I feel like he thought he was going to hit that tree, but puts it on enough hyzer and just glides it inside the circle.
And that, I think, was the first time I saw Shane throw a non-white rock before, so congrats for expanding your horizons, buddy.
And that, to me, that seemed like the most common mistake because you got to, like you said, you got to put a little bit more than the last hole. So just getting over on it, just a bit too much. That was a pretty good reaction off the tree.
Certainly fortunate there from Andres. I mean, this hole as a lefty forehand is got to be tough, but he'll be in his Andres range once again.
Yeah, Nick kind of doing the same thing he did off the other tee. Gets a kick the opposite way. Like a nice up shot by Justin there. Very nice.
Yeah, well played from Nick there.
It's one of my favorite shots. That little forehand Anheuser touch shot. I don't know, you just feel good when you hit it right. Oh, what a putt!
Yeah, speaking of hitting it right, Shane right in the center. He's kind of feeling it a little bit now, as these woods holes are really where Shane is going to want to score.
Wait for Andres to take advantage of the good tree kick. He's back. You know, he's got to get his putting confidence back up. So that's a good way to do it. And two good scrambles by Nick and Justin. I can get, tricky really quick. All right, on to hole 7. This is a par 4, 475 feet. A lot of people are going to take this right side gap. There's a left side as well. Landing zone is somewhere in here before this wall. And then you are pitching out to this green. There is OB left, right, and long, kind of like a peninsula, and a really cool designed green.
Yeah, this is the first time this hole will be played in a big tournament, and I really appreciate this change. I think it's really cool to have that landing zone right at that wall, and kind of, even though it is only about 180 feet from there, with the OB and the wind and the elevation of that little mound in front of you, makes it for a unique challenge.
Yeah, and these guys are hitting the landing zone. If you get by that down tree or that leaning tree, it's going to be a good shot. And I looked at this forehand route. I didn't see anyone throw it, but I'm excited to see this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was well controlled there from Justin. Didn't put too much power in it, but didn't really need much either. Hit the line perfect. It's going to be a great spot for him.
Oh, that took a bad kick off a root. Yeah.
And this right here is what I love about this hole, because if you're not in position 1, you kind of have one of the first decisions on the courses. Shane is just hard not to laugh at, but because here we go. I mean, Nick from here, it's totally blind. There's OB all around, and
oh no,
looks like he pays the price for it, and that's what I really appreciate about this hole. When you are out of position, it's certainly a risk reward, as Justin goes for the risk and gets the reward. What an accurate shot there.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Forehand flex over. Looked like a slow speed over stable disc. And even if you do get a good drive, you still gotta, get by these trees out the gap. And Andres kind of spikes one in there, and he'll have a circles look.
The fortunate thing for the player is the OB lines are on the outside of the trees. So if you have a shot like this right there, yeah, the tree will save him, I believe, and stick him in bounds. But if you're a little bit further back and out of position, that is a tough up and down to try to land on Peninsula Green.
Yeah, very unique hole. I think very well designed. Nick just pitching up. Yes, as we can see, he was saved by the tree, I believe.
Yeah, so this should be Shane's putt for birdie.
Perfectly okay with the par. And Andres inside 25 feet for his birdie.
It's in.
Stare it down. You have to intimidate your disc into the basket sometimes, you know? Doesn't want to listen, but you got to be stern.
Justin tapping in a great birdie right there. We see 11 birdies on the hole, but average is over par, which is it's certainly surprising, I think. Kind of a straightforward 2-shot hole, but that OB was doing its job.
Agreed. Moving on to hole 8. This is a par 3, 375 feet. A lot of people throw straight or hyzer shot in here from the right-handed. I see some forehand flex shots to this left side. But anything that filters down there at all is a blessing, and hopefully you get a putt out of it. And this seems like a good lefty hole. This might be drifting a little bit too far left, but he is in the gap and, shouldn't have a hard up shot from there.
So the drone flew down this left side line, and you can see Justin is kind of just going down the right side. It is quite open, and that's kind of what the righty backhand player is looking for. It's very technical to flex a forehand through that wide open gap. You can kind of punch a hyzer to the right side, most likely get down there to a putt. So we'll see what our players choose to go for here. Another hole new to this tournament.
Shane seems to be coming up a little short. It's going to be a tough putt to run from there. Let's see what he does with it. Smacks a late tree. That looks like he's going to have a putt.
Yeah, those are great results from the backhand. It's kind of tough to see on camera, but there really isn't a true line over there. So yeah, this hole, I don't feel like is quite finished yet. And we'll see its future iterations in future tournaments.
Here's Shane, a little downhill putt for his 2. Spins it right in there.
Spin putt Shane up to 11 under now. He's got a lot of birdies so far. You get a nice replay. Fans cam. Good.
Oh, nice putt by Justin. It almost looked like it wanted to bounce back out. Andres taps in for par along with Nick. And we will be moving on to hole 9. This is a par 4, 399 feet. It's pretty uphill, pretty tight gap. A lot of guys are shooting up this gap and trying to hyzer out to the left side of this tree line. It's a little bit more open when you get farther, to the left. And some people are just smashing it down that line. What's your play on this?
I kind of go for the smash down the line. More often than not, you hit the initial first gap and you get down there enough. You can end up being able to scramble for your 3, but it's definitely better to miss or have something hyzer out on you, the right side is very tricky to end up in. As we see Shane go with this left side, get through kind of that row of trees, and he'll be in a very easy spot for his birdie.
Andres going with the smooth forehand, looking to do the same thing as Shane. Nick might be trying to smash something.
Yeah, he plays for 2 on this hole. Absolutely.
Come on.
We're going to see what he has from that right side. It's trickier than it should be from under 200 feet. It's Justin. He ended up on that right side too, and you can kind of see there's not many lanes.
Seems like a good shot there to save his par. And yeah, Nick having to go with this off kind of from a knee, patent pending. And he just pulls it into an early tree.
Yeah, it's real tough from there because there's 2 lines. And the inside one, you would need something so overstable to flex back. And the outside one is just kind of unreachable from that angle. So Shane ended up in a great spot up on that left side. Good upshot.
And Andres in a very similar spot, just right next to him. This green does slope left to right as you're approaching it. So a good move by him to pitch it up to the left side and let it filter down. I think we missed one of Nick's shots, but if so, that was a good save for par.
Yeah, I didn't see a scorecard change there, so must have, but always good to hit that range for par.
A good save by Justin as well. Anything from that right side off the tee is a good save. Looks like Andres and Shane are going to take another stroke. And after the front 9, we got Andres at -13, and just behind him, we got Shane at 12. Still anyone's game, a lot left to play. Here's where we're at.
Officially halfway through the event now, and 6 down on the front is pretty scorching hot from Shane Wyatt. We'll look to hold that on through the open holes as we will go back into the open for the back 9. We hope you join us there. Any thoughts before then, Dan?
Yeah, going back out into the open, we're going to be dealing with the elements, dealing with the wind, and looking at some beautiful holes. We'll see you there.
All right, we'll catch you on the back 9. Till then, see ya.